Hi, my name is Miss Henson and I teach art at Luiseno. Art class is a semester-long opportunity for you to show off your creative side. If you like to draw, to paint, sculpt, take pictures, or just to tinker around and experiment and have a little bit of fun, art class is a really good class for you to take. Now, if you think this is going to be one of those quiet classes where you just sit and paint all by yourself, you are mistaken. This is a class where we get together and we talk about our ideas, what we want to accomplish with the artworks that we are creating. And then when we're done with an artwork, we get to talk about what our plan was, and then other people have an opportunity to tell us all the amazing things about what we've created. And the goal is ultimately for them to provide advice on how we could improve and keep improving as artists. So it's a really neat opportunity to communicate, and that's the most powerful thing about designing an artwork is you're creating something that communicates a message to the world. And I really hope that art is a class that you might be potentially interested in. Now, when we do talk about our art, we will also create a portfolio. So what that is basically a collection of our artworks. And you get to basically keep everything that you create in art class at the end of the semester. And the goal is that you get to show off your work at an art show. And I really like the chance for all of you to create something that you're so proud of that you just want to share it with the world, because it is a very exciting opportunity to do that. Art is a very old form of communication. We had art before we even had a written language. And so there's so much amazing history within creating art. And so I hope that you are open-minded and you want to discover all these great artist stories and learn about the science behind art, because all the materials, once you understand what they are composed of, then you're able to learn how to use them just a little bit better. And then of course there's a lot of light that goes into both shading with a pencil, and when we use the iPads for photography, there's also a lot of science that goes into photography. Now we are going to learn how to communicate ideas, how to express who we are as people, how to decorate our rooms and fill it with all our beautiful creations, and then to maybe even dress better, because the ideas of the colors and the textures and the patterns that we choose for our clothing, that is all part of design. And even within, if you look around your room right now or wherever you are, you're going to see all of these objects created by designers. And for example, a lamp. Somebody had to decide what shape that lamp was going to be, what color, what kind of way in which it would be turned on. So design is a part of our everyday life, and it's very important, because without having people design these products that we use every day and design them in such a way that we want to buy them, then where would we be? Would we have an ugly, drab, boring world? But without designers, we don't have a sense of beauty in the world. And without painters, of course, we don't have all these amazing paintings that we're so fond of. So within creating art, as an individual, you have to be open-minded. And so when we go and we create an artwork, we are going to make mistakes. And so what I hope when you do take an art class is that you have this idea set that you're going to try some things. Not every art material that you're going to use is always going to work out, but the idea is that you're going to become really strong and tough as far as this idea of experimenting and continuing to practice until you get good at things such as oil pastels, which I was terrible at for a very long time before I finally had that aha moment. And then you learn how to use something after a while of practicing, and then those moments definitely make you very excited, and then you learn that you can make something beautiful with something which was once challenging for you. Now, as far as the vocabulary of art, we're going to learn how to talk about art. Now, the words that we use are very common words that I'm sure that you have heard of before, but if I'm going to show you one which is very important, that would be basically our sense of composition. So composition is how we arrange things on a paper or canvas. You know, if we have 3 triangles we need to use, we could put them in a very boring line all next to each other where they don't really have much of a relationship. And that's just, it's a little simple. It could be a little basic. Maybe we want them to be overlapping and all touching. That's a little bit more interesting. Now, if you place 2 together and then 1 apart, maybe you're communicating that that one's all alone, or maybe you did it accidentally because then there's all this very weird space in between. And so you always have to be careful about how you place things on your paper, because this kind of planning, each one of these groups kind of communicates a different idea. So I'm hoping that when you take an art class, you learn that every single little tiny change that you make is very important and overall changes the message of what you're trying to communicate. Within a sense of space. Here's another little quick sketch. Where you place things and how big or how small, that's very important. What you fill up with a design versus what is empty, like the white sky, that's also very important. So maybe you're the type of person, if you have to design something that is like a canyon area or a cliffside, maybe you want to put that sun right in the middle. Now, the bad thing is when we put things in the middle of the paper, it's very obvious and sometimes boring. Maybe you off-center it, and that's really neat because things could go off the page like the world we see. You know, not everything is right immediately in front of our face. Sometimes it goes off of our field of vision. Maybe you want to make it really small and seemingly unimportant in relation to that beautiful red cliffside. But space and what you put in it and what you leave out, all very important decisions we make as visual and technical artists. Line. Now, there's so many kinds of line. Now, it doesn't really matter basically that you're using every single kind of line like you see here. There's a lot. But what's really important is that you get a sense of style through your line, because some people like to use thin lines that are very like dainty and feminine. Other people use more like thick, bold lines because they're maybe more of a bold person, but your sense of line is something which is unique to you as an artist. And so eventually you learn that every decision you make as an artist, it's all intentional, and it communicates something that you have to express as an artist. When we talk about shape, I have good news for you. If you could learn how to draw a triangle, a circle, and a square, you could draw anything in the world, including a human face. And there are geometric shapes, and you do need to practice them quite a lot to be able to draw anything that you want to draw. But literally anything that you see, you learn to see it as a series of shapes, and then you just kind of draw one shape at a time. You know, like the human eye. You see it basically, first of all, as an oval on the outer eyelids, and then you look at the iris, which is a circle. And then from there, you just keep adding details as a series of shapes. Like the pupil is another little circle. Your eyelashes are like little, kind of like half circles. And so you break everything down into shape, and then you're going to become really good at drawing and perceiving of shape overall. Now, we also have organic shapes. Like anything in nature is organic, and those are shapes which are a lot easier to draw than geometric shapes. But maybe you're the type of person that likes to draw nature, and so there are different kinds of shapes, and we'll hopefully practice how to draw shapes together. Now, where it starts to get a little bit difficult, a little bit tricky, is when we want to take something from a 2-dimensional flat shape, just a boring old pancake, but what we want to do is we want to go ahead and with whatever art material we want to make it look 3-dimensional. And we want to make it into a form. And so when we look at these forms, we have to consider things like highlights, where the light bounces off, the midtone where it's gray, and then also the shadow underneath where there is no light. And so my goal is that you'll all be able to create a little sphere like that where it looks 3D. It looks like it wants to roll off the paper. And that is 3D form. And so we all start off here. And then the goal is that in art class we become so amazing at shading that we really have at least one art material that we're able to create a sense of 3-dimensionality with, whether it be watercolor or colored pencil or any art material. Now, talking about color. Color is amazing. Color is very important, and every color that you use communicates a different idea. And then there's also a science that goes into color. Like I know when you take science class, you learn all about color and how it's reflected light. And so we go into the science of color. And so, you know, we only have 3 pure colors, and that's yellow, red, and blue. And then we have secondary colors, which are combination blends of those 3 tertiary hues. And then we have monochromatic, you know, basically all the same color, but in different variations, and neutral colors, which go well with all of our colors. And so when you learn about color, anytime you use color, you could benefit from knowing color theory and which colors go well together. And it is everything in the fashion world, graphic design with brochures, even social media. I'm sure if you've been on social media, you've seen someone wear an outfit where you just were shaking your head thinking, wow, why would they wear those colors together? And then other times you see like a website and it's just designed so wonderful that you want to order a product from there. Maybe it's a pair of Converse and you're just like, I love those colors. They really appeal to me and I like how everything looks to my eye. And so that's what basically designers do. We look at the world around us and we want to make it better. And we want to make things basically created in such a way that other people want them, whether it be a painting or a photograph or something as simple as a pair of Converse. Now, you're probably wondering what kind of mediums we learn about. We will learn how to use each one of these very, very well. First of all, the most simple and cheapest tool of all, the pencil. How can you not love that? Colored pencils, of course. We usually use some pastel, whether it be chalk or oil. It just depends on what we have available, but we'll learn how to use pastels. We'll learn how to use some markers. We really have a lot of fun with watercolors. Watercolors are cheap, and in the beginning they might be a little bit difficult, but they're very forgiving after a while, and there's all sorts of really fun experimental techniques that I could show you. We learn about a little bit of acrylic paint, and then also we learn about tempera paint as well. And so other forms of art that we're going to try out in addition to drawing and painting is a little bit of collage, a little bit of mixed media art. We will try photography with the iPads, and what we do is we go and we take pictures around campus and then we build our own website. So you're going to learn actually how to build a little bit of a website, and we'll also use Adobe Spark so we could create some like social media type style posts. But everything that we learn, we really, really want to look at the idea that we're creating art for our own benefit and then also for other people, so we could show off what we're proud of and all the amazing things that we're able to express about ourselves. So to sum it up, art class is a place to be creative, to show what you are able to create, to talk like an artist, to learn the vocabulary of art, to learn about the history and the culture of art. Basically, the idea of the humanities is that everything within the arts makes us a better person and a more basically well-rounded person. We want to also learn about careers and, you know, how to make money as an artist. What is the challenge behind that? And also, why is it a career that's worth being a part of? Because the humanities make us happier, and that is important. But I hope that you consider taking an art class and you will come and be creative with me. And I hope that you come and learn how to draw and paint and sculpt. And I really, I hope that you enjoy registering and selecting your classes at Luiseno. Good luck and have a great day.